She's just so open and honest about the issues she's dealt with from a psychological and stigma standpoint, says North Shore Care Supply Adam Greenberg. Stigma is the reason Greenberg founded North Shore in 2002 after his father was diagnosed with cancer and became incontinent. His dad was embarrassed to buy diapers at the store. He was even more bothered by the incontinence aspect than the cancer aspect. It was so relatable when I was reading this because I was like, I was so bothered in 2016 with my incontinence than I was about my multiple sclerosis diagnosis in 2017 because, you know, like think about it. It's like multiple sclerosis, right? It comes along with a lot of these symptoms, right? One of them being my difficulties with walking was one that I struggled a lot with. Now, with difficulties with walking, I would always trip and fall down, trip on my own foot, and it was really, really embarrassing, right? But when people in public see you fall down and trip on something, they'll feel bad for you in that moment, they'll get worried about you, but they'll be like, okay, yeah, she wasn't paying attention, it's okay, it happens all the time, type of thing, right? But what the hell are you supposed to say when you see a grown adult with a wet bum outside in public? So hey guys, in this video I really want to talk about something that was very exciting for me. But before I begin this video, there is one thing I want to mention which I don't think would bother any one of you, but some people have not very nice things to say. And that's on my eyes. With multiple sclerosis, it gives you a few symptoms. For me, I feel like I just have every one of the symptoms that come with multiple sclerosis. And right now what I'm trying to refer to is my eyes, where my pupils don't look in the same direction at once. This is my left eye. I don't know if the camera's flipped around. But throughout this video, you're going to notice my eyes just don't look straight. And honestly, yeah, I'm insecure about it. I feel like this past year, it's gotten worse, and I don't know what to do about it. I did see my neurologist in a few weeks, and I'm hoping I get to see a neuro-ophthalmologist because I want to talk to someone who's educated about the eyes and the brain, and I just want help. But anyways, this isn't the point of the video. The point of this video is that when I told you guys my voice was going to be heard, it was heard. It wasn't just heard on North Shore. It wasn't just heard on In Controls, but it was heard on Vice. Like, Vice just wrote an article about me called Meet the World's First Adult Diaper Influencer. Like, what? Like, I can't explain how happy reading this article made me feel, especially because the past couple of days have also been really hard for me because I've been going through quite a few things with my MS that I just couldn't do anything about, and it was just making me feel very defeated. Now, I'm just going to pull out the article right now so that I can reference back to some of the things that were mentioned here. But I also need to pull out one of my Google Docs where I wrote some things down because Pretty likes a little bit of structure. So when I told you my voice was going to be heard, honestly, I meant it. One had to take one for the team, so I figured I'd shoot my shot. 2 partnerships with 2 different diaper companies last year, to then this year being featured on a Vice article. Honestly, I think I nailed it, so let me know how Pre did. I did partnerships with In Controls and North Shore, and everything just felt like it was paying off, and that my voice was going to be heard, and that my voice mattered. And it's like, while a lot of people in person would make me feel like I just had to struggle in silence and just not tell anyone about anything, that was the most stupidest advice I'd have ever gotten, honestly. And I'm just really proud of myself because I pushed through even when the world couldn't understand why I had such passion talking about something no one wanted to be talking about. Just for all these years, I've always been told to just keep quiet, don't tell people about the things you're going through and stuff like that. But it's like, it's come a point now where it's like, what if I just want to be that person that just flips the fucking script? So I know some some people are probably wondering, Pri, how did you even manage to get on Vice's article? I signed 3 contracts. I forgot how many contracts I signed, shoot. I signed a contract with North Shore, and with this contract, it was a 6-month contract where I was doing videos for them. And then I also signed another contract with INCONTINENCE where I went over to the INCONTINENCE location and we filmed a video, and they're just kind of parting it, or they parted it on their YouTube channel. And then the 3rd contract that I signed was also with INCONTINENCE, where I do videos for them on their YouTube channel, which I haven't done, but there's no end date on that. So when that happened, I didn't know the opportunities were going to arise from those 2 partnerships. I just thought my voice was just going to be heard on North Shore and INCONTINENCE, and that was that. But to me, in that moment, I was like, you know what, I feel like I'm doing more than enough, because not a lot of people would talk about the things I'm talking about, right? So I was like, okay, so I'm going to do that. But I was also doing it out of me just wanting to do it, not because I felt like I had to do it, if that makes sense. And it's just crazy, because like when I backtrack to April, when I went over to INCONTINENCE, had I known that Vice was going to feature me on an article, I would have flipped my shit. I would have been like, you're kidding. It's like, when I told you guys my voice was going to be heard, I did not think it was going to be heard on Vice. I didn't think it was going to be heard on a really huge platform like that. And I was just very grateful. I was just really happy my voice was continuing to be heard, because, you know, growing up as a kid, I always felt like I never had a voice, especially while having been bullied a lot. So it was kind of like, wow, okay, so I had a voice this entire time. From what I was told, I'm not gonna like quote what people said to me. I'm just gonna I'm gonna paraphrase right now. So I remember when Jacob, who's a marketing person at INCONTINENCE, he texted me and he was like, Pri, Vice is looking for models for whatever, diapers or whatever, right? And it wasn't very clear to me, because I was kind of confused, because I know Vice had ABDL people on their platform, but I didn't want that to get twisted, because I didn't want people to think I was an adult baby, because I'm not an adult baby. So I asked Jacob, I was like, hey, if they really wanted the models that you guys have had, do they only want like the adult babies? And Jacob told me, he's like, hey, I'll let you know, because I'm not too sure. And I never really heard back from INCONTINENCE. I was like, okay, maybe it wasn't meant to be. Maybe I'm just getting excited for no reason. It's fine. I was kind of sad, because I was like, I would have loved to be on Vice. But I was like, whatever. 2 days passed by, and then Adam from North Shore, a different diaper company, emails me. And I'm just going to read it off as he said it over here. He goes, I was interviewed by a journalist from vicemedia today, and she mentioned that she saw your videos and would love to ask you a few questions for the article. I'm happy to connect you both, and that's how he connected me with the journalist. I lost my shit. I was basically just saying how I would love to connect with the Vice journalist, and I connected with her. I ended up having a phone call with one of the Vice journalists, and this phone call was kind of long. I think it was a little less than an hour, I think. I can't remember, but it was a very long phone call. And you guys, for me, I'm the kind of person that when I'm on a phone call with people, I always have a script. I never know how to talk on phone calls. I'm just very awkward. This was the one phone call, my very first phone call, I've actually had not had a script, because I was like, how am I supposed to script something out? Because what if she goes off script and then I'm gonna forget what I'm saying? And I was like, okay, you know what, we're gonna wing it. It was just really nice. Like, we made so many connections on this phone call. When I was that kind of person that was so awkward with phone calls, the Vice journalist made me feel comfortable being on the phone with them. And it was pretty cool, because we talked about so many different things. It wasn't even just about adult diapers. It was just also about incontinence. It was also about my multiple sclerosis. As I read the article, everything just felt so surreal to me. I was just like, did this really just happen? Like, it just felt so surreal. It was just really nice. Like, we made so many connections on this phone call. It's like, when I said my voice was going to be heard, I meant it. My voice was going to be heard. When I said, for those of you that are struggling in silence, I hear you. I really do hear you, because I was one of those people that was once upon a time struggling in silence, and it was no fun. I understand what it feels like. It's horrible, it's depressing, and I just never want anyone to have to go through that. So I did what I did, and I did what I could, and honestly, I hope I made you guys proud. I wanted to be that person that I wish I had when I was first going through incontinence, and that's where that's where my passion just stemmed from, where it was like when I was first going through incontinence, when I was first going through an autoimmune disease, I didn't know who to talk about the stuff with, and I didn't know where I was supposed to lean towards for support. And it just happened to be YouTube, because you guys have been nothing but supportive with me, and I'm just very grateful that I have you guys in my life right now, because I don't know what I'd do without you. I really did step outside my comfort zone, and I did it not just for me, but I did it for us. And it's like I wanted to be that person that I wish I had when I was first going through incontinence, when I was first going through an autoimmune disease and not knowing how to navigate my life, because no one was really talking about it. But on top of all this too, you don't really hear young people talking about this kind of stuff. Right now I'm 27. At the time I was 19. And it's like you don't really hear teenagers talking about it either. So it's like, it was really hard for me. So I realized I had to put my voice out there, because I just wanted to help people. I didn't want anyone to feel the way I once did, because it was just so dehumanizing, especially with having to deal with incontinence for the very first time, not knowing what to have done when I would go outside in public, have a wet bum, and it was traumatizing. It did so much to me mentally, and I just don't want anyone else to have to go through that. So I did this for us, and I hope I made you guys proud. That's pretty much it to my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have read, well, not if you guys have read, you better have read it, the Vice's article featuring me, because I'd love to hear what you have to say, because I thought it'd be cool. That's pretty much it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and for now, I'll see you guys in my next video. That will be up soon. So, bye guys. So one thing I didn't mention is that I know some people were getting a little worried about me, because they were like, oh Pri, where did you go? Is everything okay? Because I didn't post a video in like a little over a month. But honestly, it was because of this. It was because I was waiting for this Vice article to go up. Now why that was because I wanted to do my very first video on YouTube in 2025 with a Vice article. Like, you know how cool that would have been? I don't know, I just wanted to start off this year with a Vice article feature, and yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. So I hope you guys understand now. Incontinence, multiple sclerosis, pins and needles, poor hand-eye coordination, clumsiness, fatigue, dizziness, mood changes, muscle spasms, brain fog, numbness, tingling, nystagmus, double vision, depression, loneliness. All of this goes back to fear. It's one of those things that not a lot of us think about. Like, think about it. You talk about fear and you come off as being vulnerable, so who's going to want to do that, right? Think about it this way. For every negative situation you experience, let's find the positives to it, because honestly, fear challenges you. It makes you test your boundaries, and with testing your boundaries, well, it gives you the courage to fight the psychological barriers.